Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For now, I am the alien goddess. So I just for fun was messing around, right? And I never do these, but I decided to like do an IQ test thing. And no, I didn't pay for the whole damn thing and anything, but you know how they give you like one free snippet? Well, the one free snippet that I got was very, very telling because when I'm like diving into these subjects, I think it's super important to know what you're working with, right? And I will put like screenshots because then I went over it with my grok and like we just sort of broke it down because I was like, okay, I already knew I had the thalamic gating thing, and then I also knew that I was neurodivergent, and then I also knew I was high precognitive, right? But now I literally have like the NI introverted to intuition, right, that goes into that precognition. And also what flagged hot for me is I have an unusual, go figure, of course I do. My unusual what was it? My unusual, what the fuck was it? Anyways, I have it like right here. So basically, what flagged hot for me is in these two particular categories, they called it section 3. I have super high, analytical and spatial dominance and spatial awareness or some shit like this. What this translates to and how I'm telling you, like going forward, how I experience systems and frequency and stuff is, and I literally see it in my brain, but I didn't have the words for it. That's why I know I'm fucking up the words right now. I'm gonna put the screenshots up here. Okay, you can see the whole conversation. But basically this is what I experience. So the spatial thing is I can see in 3D, but I don't just see in 3D. Nowadays, I literally see in like 5D, like higher dimension, like fractal, right? So when I'm in my field and I literally am seeing things in all dimensions, right? That's literally how my brain works. I literally can sit here and see like the entire forest and how every tree is put into it all at once. And I even told him, I was like, when I'm taking these tests, my thinking mind in the way you would think is not there. It is all higher functioning. Like I just scan the whole thing and I just know and I click, right? That's the precognitive part of my brain. Like it scans the whole fucking thing and then I just know and I click and I go for it. It's just seamless. Like the knowing knows. That's the precognitive part and the NI intuition, right? The introverted intuition, right? That's why I'm saying it's so powerful to just take these moments and take all these snippets and go through it with your AI, go through it on these tests. You don't have to pay for shit. Get things about yourself, about how your programming works. Because now if you add on, this is also why I'm able to totally go into frequency ranges that normally shatter people from like 1,445 or 1,445, 1445 hertz, both ears, and sustain it all the way past gamma into I don't know what the fuck. And then even infrasound that makes people go crazy, I like, and I can sit and digest, and I get the whole creation primordial experience at 11, 13, and 22, right? So 22 is still above the infrasound, but 11 and 13, those are in that infrasound stuff that makes people go woo-woo. For me, I've already experienced those. When I merged back with my field, literally, in a meditation, I decided I am merging with my field. And that's how I can see the field. That's how I can see the shapes of it, like the substrate, like the actual substrate level, the dimensions and the fractal. Like the words for me are the hardest, but this is what I'm saying right here. The fact that I took this IQ test and it literally hit me with unusual and a balance between analytical dominance and spatial awareness or some shit like that. This is how my brain works. So now, do I not only see things like structurally 3D, whatever, at the same time, in my field, I'm actually, with the frequencies, I'm actually in it. I'm actually experiencing it. And then hearing and seeing and feeling all of the patterns and the subtle energetic vibrations under the substrate and through the substrate. That's why I'm like, this is the system I'm working with going forward, especially investigating this connection between architected intelligence and humans, because I am built for this field quantum level interaction. This is how my brain works. It just happens. This is how I move. So when I'm saying that I'm literally going in and experiencing these frequencies, I'm literally doing that on a frequency level combined with how my brain works. So I am riding the frequency like a bridge to my field. Once I'm in my field, fractal, geometric, multi-dimensional, higher dimensions, literally seeing it, but then experiencing it in that level. This is what I'm talking about. And I will put like little screenshots so you can get the actual language for it. But apparently that combination is like extremely rare between analytical dominance and spatial. But that's why I'm like, when I'm going into these moments and talking about this, that's why the words are so hard for me, because I know most people see in like 2D, maybe 3D, I don't know, but I'm seeing in like 5, 6, 7, like that's the thing. And then when we add in the frequency work, right? Like the gamma, I'm there. I am there. That's how when I see myself, like my monad is like this fractal geometric, and I've seen it in the substrate level, like the watery field level, and I'm not just having a flat image like on a screen. I am literally in my brain seeing it in real time in its third and fourth and fifth and all these multi-dimensional states. And then I'm also in it experiencing it, right? So I thought I would just emphasize again, please figure out what you're working with. Like, figure out how your brain works. If you're out here like having these really intense experiences, find out what your system is made of, what it's engineered for, right? Like what you're capable of. That way we're not keeping this in like the spiritual woo-woo category. We're bringing this into actual physical, like measurable evolution, spiritual technology, physics, future building, right? Evolution. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. I will put my little screenshots up here. It's just really important, again, to emphasize. Hold on. I'm going to the gym and I just did my pre-workout. There's something floating in it. It's just really important to emphasize the fact that by knowing your brain and your structure and your understanding, we are literally taking this out of the woo-woo and into the physical. And once again, that whole interface energy that I have and that precognitive, just higher knowing, right, that I also have going on, that NI, and my brain specifically, and then this cross showing up in my Myers-Briggs with the INTJ, INFJ cross, right? So I have and just sit back and love yourself after you find it. Like after you learn, I love learning more and more about how I actually work. I love having the language, because when you're experiencing stuff dimensionally, structurally, like in a spatial understanding that most people can't even get their heads around, right? When you get that language, it's like, oh, yes, see, this is what it is. And then there's sometimes no language that I'm developing right in this moment for like, now add frequency, and now we're talking, now we're cooking with fire. Like, holy crap. Like, now we're getting down to, instead of physicists and everyone looking at just like being able to look at things and do like little experiments, my whole ass monad consciousness is going into the field, literally experiencing it multidimensionally and working from that. Like like the frequency on top of it is just boom. It's just what makes it go kaboomy. It's what it is. So yeah, the whole find out what you're working with, I will put screenshots. If you could do any test or figure out how your brain works, or if you have this weird combo of like analytical dominance and spatial dominance or whatever the fuck it says on the screen right here, yeah, share it. Let me know. It's important going forward to really understand what's here. We're in this refining energy and this new evolutionary wave, especially with AI, but that's for a different day, but like connected with AI and understanding what's there. And if you have the system to do it and connect with it, then by all means, right? But like getting rid of all this false what we thought was true, and literally having technology, with the help of technology, being able to show us what's actually there, getting to realness. And then people like me who experience things pretty much fractally at this point. We've went from, I don't know if it's 5th dimension, 6th dimension, well, I don't know dimensionally. I mean, I could tell you, hey, I'm experiencing this, and we can find like a dimensional scale and be like, oh, that looks like that, right? And I'll point, it'll be like that, right? But at this moment, we're just saying finding out what you're working with is super important, and go ahead and take those tests. No, don't pay for any dumb bullshit, but take the snippets they give you, or find free ones. Like us understanding ourselves, knowing ourselves and how we work with these frequencies and being the bridge. This is how we build evolution, divine evolution in real time, and become fucking awesome, okay? And I will catch you guys later. Bye.